Hello and welcome to round 6 of the Australian Asia Pacific Grand Touring Cup Challenge. We're here at Nurburgring for the 4-lap endurance race around the Green Hill. 20.8 kilometres, 55 turns. It's going to be a grueling challenge for all the drivers across the board. We've got Mustang, Pontiac Solstice, as well as the VW Jettas. It's going to be one massive race, and we're looking forward to it here on LitTV. I'm joined by Jackson Freer in the commentary box, and we'll have a few other drivers joining us throughout the race. How you doing, Jackson?
Yeah, afternoon, Jerry. Afternoon, everyone. Looking forward to seeing this race on the broadcast. Obviously, a delayed broadcast today, but it's going to be a little bit embarrassing to see my performance from Tuesday night, but we'll let that one play out.
Yes, it will be very interesting watching yourself race back in past time, seeing the mistakes that you did make. But it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing it. We have to apologise for the delayed broadcast due to some Windows 10 updates. There was an issue with the 64-bit mode, so we've got that rectified by making a few little adjustments. Hopefully it holds up. So before we start talking about this week's race, we'll just look at the championship standings. In the Mustang class, we've got Gary Fishwick leading the championship by 50 points, followed by Ben Callow and Mark Dial in third position. Craig A. Williams follows in fourth with only 2 results. So I think if Craig gets a few more results and with the drop rounds coming into play, I think we could see ourselves a very interesting battle towards the end of the season. In the Jettas, John M. King is currently in the lead by 64 points over Brian DeBurn and Toshi Tanaka. And in the Pontiacs, we've got Russell Clark, Brad Fenley and Craig M. Hopkins are your podium so far. We've seen all season long Dennis and Russell going head, as well as Brad Fenley going head to head. So the battle is still there in the points, and it's going to be anyone's game coming to the end of the season.
Yeah, a few interesting story there, particularly Ben Callow running Mustangs and Solstices, so sort of splitting his bets, not putting all his eggs in one basket. So that'll make it a struggle to win a championship for him. But we'll see. Only going to be halfway through the season at the end of today's race, so we'll see how things play out in the back half.
Yeah, consistency is the aim of the game in this series, and interesting choice from Ben Callow, switching from the Mustang to the Pontiac for last round at Monza, but it was very competitive, and he was competitive in the car, and so he did a pretty good job. We'll just look at the track guide for Nurburgring. Man, what a track.
Yeah, we're doing a hot lap? This is a very cool track. 154 corners, 22.8 kilometres. There's really nothing like it in the world. I mean, it's one of a kind. Obviously a very challenging racetrack, but one that all the drivers really love to come to. And it's a place that really requires good amount of practice and a good knowledge of the circuit. It doesn't come down so much at this level, at least, to car setup or driver ability, but your knowledge of the corners and being confident to know how hard you can push.
Yeah, there's a lot of corners that you have to be on the limit, but also be off the very limit because it'll catch you off guard. We've just got our series organiser Oliver Searles in the commentary booth for us. How you doing, Oliver?
I'm good, guys. Sorry I was a bit late. The wife had to nick off somewhere, so I'm here now.
That's all good. While the wife's away, you come out to play. Is that right?
Well, that's exactly right. It was one of these sort of things. She's going to be away for 24 hours. She's doing some Relay for Life thing, so I thought I'd better actually say bye to her.
Yes, that's good. That's good. We like to hear those stories, Oliver. So, Oliver, you're looking forward to Nurburgring race?
I'm looking forward to watching it. I heard Jackson put in a stellar performance, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I did not put in a stellar performance in all order.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to seeing the wheels fall off.
What did he get? 16 incidents or something?
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
I guess
Okay.
we'll see that as the race unfolds.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's
so
part of the reason. Part of the reason I don't do that track. It's just it's a nightmare of a track. But I look forward to seeing what happens to you.
Yeah, you see, I was trying to commentate at the same time, so...
I don't think us guys are very good at that, driving and speaking or commentating at the same time. I think we just don't have the skills. I felt sorry for Jackson.
Yeah, and it was all wasted. Oh well.
Alright, let's hit the track and get this race underway.
Sounds good.
Alright, so the cars are just gridding up behind the Childhood Cancer Foundation bright gold pace car. We'll talk through the qualifying standings. We had Ben Callow get pole.
No, he didn't.
Oh no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
And
You talk through the qualifying results,
I'll
Jackson.
do the qualifying results, alright. And just make sure you let me know when the cars are starting, so we're on the same page.
Yep.
Dan Carrick-Stantis on the pole alongside him, Ben Callow. Those two bound to have a good battle. Mark Dial third, Mika Eshuis. Don't think we've seen that name before. That's row 2. Row 3, Anthony Marzuka and Giacomo Angeli. In 7th position, Gary Fishwick, Stephen Patmore. Get ready for a good battle there. Jose Cantharine, Ernie Ludwig. Ernie probably a bit back a bit further than he'd like. Nicholas Garfold, 11th. That's 11 Mustangs. 2 Volkswagen Jettas in today's race, Colin Klopman and Brian Tabaroon. And then we go to the Pontiac Solstice battle, and it's Russell Clark and Dennis Van der Schilt on the front row. Those two have been battling out all season long.
And the cars are on. They're rolling out for their very short pace lap. Sorry to disturb you there, Jackson.
All good. Brad Fenley and Brad Hayes, 2 Brads on row 2. Myself and Jackie Lotterman. And then Benjamin Turner, Adam Harrod, and Tomoyuki Arima. 21 cars on the grid, 22, sorry. And should make for a exciting race today.
Right, what are our predictions?
I think Jackson's was going to win in the Solstice.
High expectations there.
Actually, I know the results of the race, so I don't think I should be commenting on that.
My expectations are a good battle between Russell Clark and Dennis Van der Schilt, and a good battle between Dan Carrick-Stantis and Ben Keller. I reckon that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, I reckon leading to Mustang is going to be very, very tight in the battle.
Yeah, Dan's a really quick driver, so I'd expect him to do pretty well. And obviously Ben as well. So yeah, there should be some good battles throughout. And the 2 Jetta drivers are pretty evenly matched as well, so it should be good.
And the green flag is underway. They're racing.
Just gonna make sure we're on the same page here. Do we have the cars coming through turn... hang on.
I'm on a bit of delay, guys, but I'm watching it on the YouTube link, but we'll have to make do.
Okay.
All good. At the moment, just trying to find Ben Callow. He seems to have disappeared from the track.
Yeah, that's what I was having problems with, cars dropping out and stuff. But if you go to Dan Carrick-Stantis, that'll sort it out. Coming over the crest for the first time is what I have on my screen.
Yep.
And so it's Mika Eshuis that leads from Dan Carrick-Stantis and Mark Bell. Not sure exactly where Ben Callow's gone, but he's probably driving around, just not on our screen. We'll sort that one out. Let's just run back to how the Pontiacs are shaping up. And it's Dennis Van der Schilt and Russell Clark. They've already pulled out quite a big gap, but they've separated themselves. and it's just the two of them with a nice, handy lead.
Yeah, they're already getting into their paces and making sure that they're getting their lines straight on the first lap, cold tyres. But yeah, it looks to Dennison and Russell Clark are pulling the lead.
So Mickey Vicious is a name we haven't seen before, but he's up the front, he's leading. Dan Carrigan-Stanton sitting on the back of him, so if Ben Keller comes back in the picture, we might see a three-way battle here. Just gotta wait for things to calm down a little.
Yeah, Mick has done some races last season. He's a European guy, so doesn't always get to jump into the race. But yeah, he's pretty quick. He's won a couple of races before, so I think it's a good battle. And I know Dan's really quick, especially around the Nurburgring. So it should be good.
We're just looking at Jackson Freer. He's currently tucked into 18th position in the black Intel machine.
Yeah, had a dodgy start, had a bit of a run-in with another car. Can't remember who it was. It might have been the number 10 car. No, it wasn't Brad Finley. I'm not sure who it was, but we had a little bit of a run-in at about turn 3, so my steering was bent about 45 degrees after about 20 seconds of racing, so that made for a fun day.
It's always what you want with an order.
Or as we see Jackson Freer out onto the grass, right out sideways, like Mark Scaife. Tucks in behind, who's that? Brad Hay. Coming on the back section of this track. It's through the very tight left-hander. It's very off-camber as well, so you find yourself, struggling to get it turned, and then you come up the little hill again, and you find your car gets quite unweighted, comes up the hill, and then you get lots of grip. So, very tricky section that part.
Tell you what, this is my first, maybe second time ever driving the Pontiac. It's a very interesting car, actually. At high revs, it actually sounds quite good. But there's just a massive gap between gears. So when you change up, you get a massive drop in the revs, which actually makes downshifting a nightmare. Because where you're used to just downshifting and giving it a little bit of a blip, the thing just revs its guts out, so you gotta be quite careful not to blow the motor.
Yeah, I remember when I used to drive the Pontiac, I blew the motor a couple of times. So yeah, whereas in the Mustang, I've never done that. So yeah, shouldn't do that.
Alright, I have all 3 Mustangs on my screen for the first time today, and it's Ben Callow leading from Carrigan-Stentis, and Mika is just sitting in behind, so hopefully these internet drivers have solved their problems as they come through this very fast, very committed section of the Nurburgring.
Yeah, as we just see Ben Callow flashing a little bit. The other 2 Mustangs have got a pretty good internet connection, but the others are flashing.
This looks like one of those things we're going to have to deal with today, but something to note, the 2 Volkswagen Jettas are nose to tail.
Wow. We'll go check out them both.
And they have Jose Cantorino in the Mustang for company, so that could make things a little interesting.
Yeah, it's just tough when you're in the Jetta if there's a slow Mustang in front of you, because they end up being fast down the straight, and then you end up catching them around the corners. So yeah, it could be interesting, especially here as well. It's hard to overtake. So, as you can see, there could be a bit of a procession going.
Yeah, as we just see Joss Canthierino, just a bit of a moving roadblock for the 2 Volkswagens.
There we go, they're through now.
Yeah.
Well, that time delta between Volkswagens and Mustangs is actually fairly similar, which as you said, Oliver, makes for a lot of dramas when you're trying to get through traffic.
Yeah, exactly right. It's not too bad here. I mean, I remember one season at Lime Rock Park where the Jettas were quicker than the Mustangs, and it was an absolute nightmare because they were all over the place and it was chaotic. So, but yeah, this is a difficult track to pass on. So yeah, if someone's slower in front of you, it's very, very hard to get past them. It's more a rally track than a race track, really.
Or as you see, Brian just getting a little bit sideways on the exit, and now we have Colin up on the curve.
Serious amount of curvies into there. That's some Gold Coast stuff there. But watch for the 5 car. Watch for how Brian gets the run out of this right-hander, because there's a massive slipstream on offer if he can get it. If he's close enough, I reckon he will be close enough to Colin Clopland.
Yeah, they're going to get the long straight, lots of slipstream. Blackadder Motorsport, sponsored by GP Racing Karts, tucks in behind Colin Clopland.
Straight's just about long enough. If you're in the right car and things, you can actually tow past someone and they can tow back past you. It's very, very long straight. Here we go, he pulls out. So they're going to run side by side, and the only issue here is you want to get the job done before the track narrows, because running side by side through there is very dangerous.
Yep, it looks like Brian's just yielded, coming into the corner.
No.
That co-op through.
Lifts and lets through. Probably a smart choice on lap 1 of 4. Meanwhile, the Pontiac guys, Russell Clark and Dennis Van der Schild, they're side by side down the Donninghurst Straight as well. Clark slots back in behind Dennis. So I think we're just going to see these guys just get themselves settled, get themselves into a groove, and probably wait until lap 3 or maybe even lap 4 before they really start battling. Because as long as you can stay with the guy in front of you, you just got to set yourself up for a run down the back straight on the final lap. That's really what these guys are trying to aim for.
Yeah, it's also a bit of a race of attrition as well. It's so demanding. You have one mistake and you're in the wall. You don't want to push too hard and end your race. It's a bit like a Bathurst. It's just walls everywhere. So there'll be a lot of just, hey, see if I can make the other guy make a mistake, or just trying to survive yourself. That's what I remember when I raced there, and you probably know this, Jackson. It's just a case of survival.
Yeah, you're right. One lap's of concentration and you're in the fence, because not only is it a very long track and quite difficult to remember, but there's also pretty much zero margin for error. This is surrounded by fences. Before Tuesday night, the last time I raced here was in the 24-hour race back in May, I think. And late at night, I sort of forgot where I was and stuck it in the fence for half an hour repairs. So yeah, it's definitely a race of attrition.
Yeah, it's easy done, and as I said, you know, it's so difficult, and there's no runoffs, and there's a lot of fast-flowing corners, and all of a sudden there's a couple of slow corners. If you forget what the slow corner is, bam, you're in the wall, and it's game over. So, yeah, as I said, I would just be focusing on just trying to survive at this point in time and worry about the win later on.
Yeah, definitely. We have Brian and Cohen still going side by side, coming through the tight corners.
Talking about side-by-side action, there's a bit of a fight on here. The Mustang, Mickey Rashuis just grabbed Dan Carrick and Santis. Dan made a little bit of a mistake there, and Mick is through, but these three are all line astern, and hopefully they can stay that way, because it could provide a very interesting finish for us.
Ben Callow out on the grass. He manages to keep it pretty stable there. He did a pretty good job keeping that in the car straight.
That was as close as you get to losing the race. That was, man, he's got to just calm down here, because that could have been a very, very big moment.
Ben Callow's good at that. He seems to be one of those guys that seems to push the limit all the time, and I've seen him make a lot of daring escapes like that, so he'll be used to that. So.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen a car go onto the grass and remain straight. Usually you have that little bit of a loss of grip in the rear end, and the car, you know, comes around on you, and you have to make a correction. And usually, with this sort of car, you overcorrect and you go straight into the wall. So he did a very good job there. But Mick has got a bit of damage on the side of his car. I'm guessing he had a little graze of the wall just on his left side, so it's pretty apparent that he's hit something somewhere.
It might have been one of the curbs as well. Some of the curbs here are real curbs, not like these pretend ones they have now. You know, so if you hit some of them in the wrong angle, you can do some damage. So it could have been from that.
I can't remember if it was here or was older in the V8 Supercar this week. I can't remember where it was, but I actually hit a curb and got a 4X.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there's the one at the top of Bathurst. As you come up to Skyline, if you run over that, you just destroy the steering, and your car done that a few times with the Mustang. So I think it's the same here. If you clip some of them, you'll bend the front end.
Let's talk.
Rear wide again. Character status. That's not character status. Sorry, Mika Issues. He was all over the back of Ben Gallo. Couldn't get any traction as they come to the carousel.
He's still right on him. He's not letting go. Let's talk brakes between the cars. Which one do you reckon has the best braking performance for the Nurburgring?
Do you have facts and figures in front of you, or are you just making assumptions?
I've got no facts or figures. Just talking generally about brakes.
They've all got ABS, so I mean they should all be reasonably well. I think as said, I don't think the Mustang has the world's greatest brakes, but it has got ABS. You probably find that the Jetta's front-wheel drive as well, so it's probably a problem. You probably find the Solstice is probably the best brake, but I haven't driven the Jetta, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah, you'd think due to the weight of the Mustang, it takes a bit more to pull the car up.
It's also American engineering as well, or lack of. You know. But in all seriousness, the Mustang's fine under brakes because it's got ABS. But yeah, as I said, I know the Jetta people say because it's front-wheel drive. If you're trying to trail braking, obviously there's a big no-no in that car. So.
Yeah, Ben Callow, man. Oh, he's got me nervous. Oh, this is crazy stuff. Ben Callow's going left, right. He's swerving the back end out. Oh boy.
Tell you what, you think it's hard enough to drive one of these cars around this place? Try having Mika Issues about 1 centimetre off of your back bumper. Ben Callow's under serious pressure right now.
Jeez, these guys are not holding back. They are making sure they're right on the limit.
No, I mean, we're talking about waiting for the last lap. These guys are not waiting at all.
No, I suppose, I mean, if you're that close to each other and you think you're fast, you've got to try to pressure the guy behind and make a mistake, as you said, and then all he's got to do is hit the wall slightly and he's out. So if you can't overtake, make the guy hit the wall.
Yeah, no doubt. I think Mick is just setting himself up for a straight run. He's trying to stay right on the back end of Ben Callow, tuck under that big wing. And,
just lost
himself up. Yeah, he did. He lost a bit of time.
Ben Callow might be safe down the straight. We'll wait and see how this plays out.
Mika gets a good run out. Ben Callow,
Yeah,
a bit short, a bit shallow.
Out. Yep, here we go. It's on now.
Tucks
Number
around to
2
the
car
outside.
with a nice slipstream. Didn't have too much time to get a good slingshot, but he's pulled out. They'll be alongside them.
Ben Callow's got a bit more aero, I think. He's got a bit more aero, which is, you can see that he's not pulling in front. And Mika's still, yeah, side by side. So the aero wash that Mika's getting is not helping him.
And these cars look like they're going slow down the straight because it's such a long straight, but don't be fooled because they're going well in excess of 225 kilometers an hour. So Dan Carrigan stands and it's got a good slipstream, and it's going to be a three-way battle up here. And Mika does the right thing and slides back in behind as they come to the conclusion of the second lap of the race. That's the halfway point for the Mustang boys. And at that point, we should have a look back to the Pontiac battle. And Russell Clark's just pulled a little gap over the number 8 car, Dennis Van der Schild. So these two still having a good battle, but Russell's just pulled a nice little buffer.
Yep, no change of position between the Pontiacs. Still they're going hammer to toe.
Volkswagen Jettas side by side down the back straight. Good to see these two. Good to see a Volkswagen fight. First time this season we've had up to 3 cars in the race, but never seen them actually have a good battle. So this is nice to see.
Yeah, well, Brian and I just can't think of the other person. They're pretty closely rated, so it should be good. In I rating terms, they're pretty close.
Oh, it's a bit of touches. You can hear the contact in the rear and the front bumpers. These guys are not holding back either.
Colin's gonna try and get a run into the left hand, and
Oh, Brian going
that's
for the under, or whatever it's called.
I'm seriously good pass there by Colin.
Over under.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
We call it the crisscross.
Crisscross will make you jump if you remember that from the 80s or the 90s.
I wasn't even born then.
Yeah, that's
yeah. I think it was the early 90s. There were two little African American kids that did hip hop music and wore their clothes backwards. That's a side note for you.
Well, there you go. Obviously, they didn't want to go mainstream. They wanted to create a new tradition.
That's exactly right. So whenever anyone says crisscross, that's what I think about. But maybe I'm showing my age there. So.
Now I noticed that Cohen's got a number 3 on his front windscreen. I think the cars do have them all, but I think the white banner of Brian De Bruyn's car just hides that number. What number is he? Number 5, I think.
I see where you're getting at. I was a bit confused what you were trying to say then. Yes, I think the white banner does cover it. I love this corner they're coming into. This right-hander is a fantastic corner.
We saw a bit of action in the real Nurburgring 24-hour race where the rain came down and it became icy in that corner. People were just going off left, right and centre.
That was more than a bit of action. That was a lot of action.
So there's a bit of gap between the Volkswagens now. Now we'll head towards the battle of Gary Fishwick and Giacomo Angeli right behind
that action.
Oh, it's on for battle, and old Dennis Van der Schilt and Russell Clark are right next to each other.
Yeah. So, didn't see Dennis get the lead back, but he has. And Russell's not going to be able to do much with this run over the crest. A lot of curb by Dennis, wow.
Oh, Russell Clark goes in very deep under brakes. But he's going to get a run out of this corner, so he set himself up for that long run.
Yeah, watch for a move down the inside into the left-hander. Possibly the second left-hander, because there's more of a braking zone there. So he's just trying to position the car in the right place around the first one. No, I think he's too far back to go down the inside.
Yeah, he had to let off and get on the brakes mid-corner, a couple of corners back.
It's alright, like we said, no need to be too aggressive right now.
Yeah, leave that for the last lap, where it's do or die.
Still a championship to be won, but yeah.
True. These guys aren't holding back. I think we've said they're not holding back about 50 million times tonight, but it's really true. They're driving the socks off the cars.
It's one of those tracks where you have to do that, though. It's so fast and flowing that you just have to go for it. And as you said, it's all or nothing in one of these sort of cars around here. You know, it's not a track with it's a lot of fast corners, and so you've got to be like that to be at the front. That's why I'm not very good at this track, because I don't have that. I don't have the intestinal fortitude to do it with all the walls everywhere. You know, same with Bathurst. I can't do that, but that's what these guys are obviously doing.
Still a little bit of a battle between Brian and Colin Clopland in the VW class. They're still maintaining a very consistent pace. not letting any traffic. There's no traffic around, so there's no traffic to deal with, and they're just getting their lines, hitting their marks, and keeping the gap between them pretty consistent.
Yeah, that is one thing that we only really see at this track. Maybe Le Mans, but probably not. No lap traffic to deal with. Very unusual in multi-class racing, but I'm sure the Mustang boys will be very much appreciating that.
Yeah, lap traffic around here probably isn't ideal because it's so narrow. But yeah, with 8-minute laps, you're unlikely to get a lot of lap traffic. So I think it's good for everyone. It makes a nice change for everyone. It doesn't ruin the balance.
Well, as we just see Angela get a bit sideways in the Mustang class, is side by side with Gary Fishwick. Gary Fishwick very close. Oh, he's turned Angela round. Angela has gone round. Fishwick's had to slam on the brakes.
Stephen Padmore's loving life.
Oh, he's just got straight round. We just caught the action here on the broadcast. That was pretty good timing.
Sorry, well, there might have been a little bit of netcode there, just ever so slightly. But I don't like talking about netcode, so we're going to move on from that. That was one of those things that happens.
Yeah.
First rule of netcode is you don't talk about netcode.
Well, usually when you talk about netcode, the netcode gets even worse, so I think that's why.
Yeah, I think you had some netcode at Lime Rock, Oliver. Some serious.
Oh yeah, that was when I was blinking all over the place. Yeah, I mean it's one of those sort of things that happens. I mean, you have to realise if you think about it, you got people from all around the world, and a lot of the time the service predicting and what you see on the screen and what they see on the screen and what the service sees on the screen aren't all the same thing. And it's predicting where you are. In a lot of cases, if you look, there would have been an accident anyway. There wasn't a physical one, but you were both, going in that direction. Sometimes there's ones where it's not, but normally if you look at it, you were heading for a collision. It just predicted it before you got there to do with the lag and everything. So I haven't found it that bad, except for in that case. But as I said, that was my own fault for blinking all over the place. So it's just one of those sort of things.
Yeah, that's it. We complain about it, but at the end of the day, you got to realise how cool it is that we get to race guys from the other side of the world. So from time to time, things will happen. Meanwhile, final lap has started for these Mustang boys. Ben Callow is pretty much going to have to settle for third position, I think. But Mika and Dan Carrigan-Santos, these two are looking like they're going to have at it. They are drumming the wheels up using every bit of track and some.
Yeah, Ben Callow was dropped off the battle pack of the first and second cars. Mick is carrying the damage that he had from previous. I think it's a little bit worse coming in this lap than it was the previous lap. He's got damage on his front right. But the car of Dan Carrick-Costancis is just prime. It's just clean, it's smooth, and it looks aerodynamically stable.
Yep, good point for mentioning that, because come the final straight, which is probably where this race will be decided, that damage on the front of Mick's car could hinder him, so he's going to have to be smart about how he attacks this race, this final lap, sorry.
Yeah, no doubt. We'll just go back and look at Jackson Freer. He's currently in 7th position and carrying a bit of damage, eh?
Yeah, I have gone back and had a bit of a look at my car a couple of times. It didn't bring it up. Yeah, oh man, I had a shocker. I had a real shocker.
So you hit a couple of the walls. Have we named one of the walls after you yet, or it wasn't that bad?
I mean,
he hit so many walls that I think we'd have to name the whole track Jackson Freer track or something. And I don't think the German government's going to like that.
Probably not, no. So would you get 16 incidents? That's like you hit the wall 4 times, or you did 8 smaller hits, so you sort of did a combo?
Let's see, I had a car contact on lap 1. I reckon I hit one wall, and then at one point my screen froze up, and so I hit 2 at once.
Nice.
But in all fairness, I didn't actually get 16 incidents because I crossed the line, put my foot on the clutch, downshifted a few times, and apparently that was a loss of control, so yeah, go figure.
It's a bit weird.
That's very weird, but the system doesn't lie. Okay, so you got 14 incidents and then the bogus one at the end. Okay, it's still not ideal, but hey, you finished the race. That's something. Some people don't finish this race. The last couple of times I've done this, I haven't finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you didn't have to tow back to the pits because that takes an eternity.
Yes. Or get a significant amount of damage 3 minutes into the lap and have to drag it around for the rest of the lap. That's never fun.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you don't want to damage your steering and stuff. Yeah, that's not ideal at all.
We're just checking in with the Volkswagen class. The boys are still hammer to toe and still maintaining that consistent pace. The last lap time for Brian de Bruin was at 8:12, which is about 2.5 seconds quicker than his lap 2. So he's doing pretty good, consistent improvement.
Got to say, this is actually pretty cool. This is such a challenging racetrack, as we've gone over and over it lots of times. But in all 3 classes, we got a final lap battle for the win. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
Yeah, this track always seems to bring that about, as I said, because obviously you get a bit of a draft down the thing and it's hard to get away. So if you're, in theory, the slightly slower car, the guy behind struggles to get behind you, and it's so technical as well that one little mistake and you go back. So yeah, it's just one of those tracks that seems to encourage close racing, and these cars are pretty evenly matched anyway. So it's good to see.
Meanwhile, Ben Turner's taking a trip to the pit lane. He didn't fill it up with enough fuel, as opposed to me, who filled it up with way too much fuel. So he came over the voice chat, said, "Can I borrow anyone's fuel?" And I said, "Yeah, I got 13 laps left, so you want some of mine?"
We just need a siphon or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Link the cars together and off you go again.
Yeah, it probably doesn't make that big a difference. I mean, for optimal performance, you probably don't want to have too much fuel in, but I know with the Mustang, it doesn't make a huge difference because the car weighs so much. An extra couple of litres doesn't make a big difference to your performance. But I suppose, yeah, if it's close, you probably don't want to carry it. But it's not like a Formula One car where it's a big percentage of its weight. I mean, those things weigh a ton anyway. So it's a little bit of fuel.
So the Mustang's up towards the end of the lap, and Dan has pulled a nice little buffer over Mika Shui, so Mika's going to have his work cut out for him to track.
He gets sideways. He gets sideways.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's trying to pull the gap in, but I think Dan Constantis has got just that little bit too much lead now.
Yeah, but you got to wait and see over the ski jump.
Oh boy, both cars get airborne.
That's just the coolest piece of track in the world.
I have to admit that is my favourite part. I'm not a big fan of this track, but that is the favourite part of the track to me. When you hit that and you just fly in the air, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's fun in the F1. You literally, because there's so much downforce, your front actually comes down before your rear, and it smashes it up, the F1.
Oh dear.
As they come into the last little carousel.
Yeah, I don't think Mick is close enough. He's going to be trying, but I don't reckon he's going to get a tow. I mean, there's a chance he'll get a massive slingshot, but I just reckon he's 2 car lengths too far back.
Dan Constantis puts it to the right-hand side. Mika's following him as well.
Serious blinking going on from Mika.
He is a European connecting to an American server, I suppose. Yes, he should probably have a better connection than us Aussies connecting to them. But you never know what's going on with his local connection.
Right, so he's tucking in there. He's trying to tow, but it's just not happening. I don't think you never quite know until the very end. He is gaining, but
could we see a last corner move here?
Well, he's not in contention for the championship, so he might just fire it down the inside.
Maybe. Oh, he's so close.
Seriously close to the rear bumper.
Oh, he's going to get the inside. No, he's not.
no room on the inside with that fence there, but Dan Carrick just wins at the Nurburgring. What a good race.
Good win from Dan. Ben Callow's just coming coming up to the last little complex. He's also having a bit of blinking issues as well.
Alright, so from one first place battle to the second first place battle, and this one is for the Volkswagens. It's Colin Kloppman all over the back of Brian DeBrood. Now these two might be close enough for some slipstreaming down. Oh,
Brian goes onto the red pebbles.
But Brian trying to break the drafts, but he might have just put himself under pressure. We're into the final right-hander before the back straight. Clone's actually just dropped off a little bit. Has Brian built enough of a gap?
What would be going through your head right now if you were Brian?
If you were Brian, you got to be mirror driving. You just got to have a look where Cohen is and try and put this car in a place where he can't get around, where you make it as hard as you can, because there's nothing you can do right now. It's a straight line. You're doing all you can do. Just maximise the gear shifts, get them in the perfect place. But Cohen has got the slipstream, so Cohen goes to the right-hand side.
Oh boy, this is going to get hairy coming in the last little final complex. Both boys want to win this.
Yeah, and every other time someone lifts going into that final complex, but at this point of the race you can't lift.
Nah, who's going to yield? Who's going to yield? Oh, they're going to hold it flat. Oh, they're side by side. Oh, using all the road. Brian's still there. Brian's holding the outside.
That is good.
Ah,
Cohen's going to get it done then.
he is. Cohen brings it over across the line for first place finish in the Volkswagen. Very good drive from both the drivers. Beautiful.
Yeah, just having a look at the
display.
Pontiac. Just having a look at the Pontiacs, and Dennis has pulled enough of a gap on Russell Clark, so Russell's obviously had a little bit of a not so fantastic final lap. I got to admit, I was telling the boys at this point not to bother going in for interviews. And I think Russell didn't appreciate me talking while they were battling, but apologies for that.
Yeah, Dennis has got a very good lead here. There's not going to be no slipstream for Russell. As we see, that camber looks pretty crazy. As we've commented on previous rounds on the iRacing cameras, it looks like the camber's set up pretty high for the Pontiacs.
These two are so entertaining. Week in, week out, they provide us with entertainment, and I'm really interested to see how the championship goes. I really hope these two guys keep rocking up every week and take the championship down to the wire, down to the final round at New Hampshire. I'm looking forward to that one. But Dennis Van der Schilt round through the final few corners then. He's done a good job around the final turn, and Dennis Van der Schilt brings up the win at the Nurburgring. Russell Clark, good job second place. Couldn't quite grab Dennis today.
Yeah, good job from Dennis. Solid drive. Brad Hire comes around in third position. Good drive from him as well to round out the podium. Brad Fenley, he's going to get fourth. Jackson Freer, he's going to get fifth in class.
Top five.
Yeah,
Top
good job
five.
from
Can't
Jackson.
complain with that.
Top five was a fantastic job. Yeah, and only 16 incidents. Just kept it under the limit of 17. You know, use the max you can do. Way to go.
That's it.
All or nothing
use up
approach.
Every resource.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
that's exactly right. You get given 17, you use 16 of them. I mean, that's just efficiency.
Or maybe luck.
Either way, we won't talk about what it did to your safety rating. We won't bore people with that.
No, it was fine because I had 4.98 after the Bathurst 1000, so I had plenty to use up.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, so let's run you through the final results. And Dan Carrick wins from Ben Callow. Mark Tile, good job to grab third. Hang on, I'm looking at the grid. Apologies. That didn't sound right. Dan Carrigan standards wins from Mika Estuis, Ben Kelly third, Mark Dial fourth, Anthony Mazzocca with the top five, Stephen Patmore, Giacomo Angeli, Gary Fishwick. I won't be too thrilled with eighth place after that incident with Giacomo. And then the two Volkswagens, Colin Klopman and Brad De Bruin, were in between the rest of the Mustangs. Only Ludwig with in the 18 car in front of Jose Cantarino. And Nicholas Garfold, 3 laps down, didn't catch what happened to him, but he obviously did not finish. And then the Pontiac battle, Dennis Van Schulte takes Russell Clark, Brad Hay, Brad Fenley, myself, Benjamin Turner, Adam Harry, who had a struggling day, Tomoyuki Arima and Jack Lodman both with did not finishes.
Well, we said it was going to be a very demanding physically race, and it was. Wasn't too many big, massive crashes. The boys managed to keep it pretty sane, and only a minor damage here or there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Just looking through the results, Mark Dahl managed to do the whole thing without any incidents, which is a phenomenal effort, and still coming forth. So yeah, most of the top guys had a couple, but to get none. But I suppose it is one of the tracks. If you get an incident, it normally ends badly for you. But to get none and is impressive, you know. So hats off to him. He wins the clean driver award, definitely.
Yep, and we see in the Pontiacs we've got 5 drivers that are the biggest movers. We've got Dennis, Brad, Ben Turner, Adam Harrod, and also Tomoyuki Arima. All of them gained 1 spot in the race, so a big list for the gainers.
Yeah, it's always good.
All right, well, we're halfway through the season then, and the first 6 races have provided us with a lot of entertainment. Looking forward to the back half of this championship. Can anyone shed some light on where we're going next week?
Laguna Seca. That'll be interesting. That'll be a good race.
Yeah, very close and an action-packed circuit with the Dipper. So I think there's going to be some very close battles as we've seen all season. Nothing's going to change next week.
Yeah, it's also a free track as well, so we'll get a few more people coming out of the woodwork for it. And as I said, yeah, it's one of those tracks that's actually deceptively difficult. The grip levels there are always really bad, and you think you can go a lot faster than what you can. And yeah, it's a track that I'm not very good at, but I'll be back. And yeah, it should be really good. Some really close racing there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it next week. Back to some sprint format racing, small track, very confined spacings between the cars, and I'm sure there'll be very good action-packed race. Alright, so that wraps up this week's coverage of round 6 of the Australian Asia Pacific Grand Touring Cup. Any last final words before we say goodbye for a week?
Oh, we had to do driver of the day. Who was your driver of the day?
Oh yeah, driver of the day.
Oh, that Freya bloke was pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say Jackson Freya for me was the driver of the day, but in all seriousness, I think that the driver of the day, if we're going class by class, but overall, I think that you got to give it to Dan. Dan did really well, but give Mika credit for coming up from 4th to 2nd to challenge him. But my driver there would probably be Mark Dahl. To do that whole course without any incidents, I think is an achievement. He'd be my pick for the driver of the day.
Yeah, I think so also. I think Mark Dahl deserves a pat on the back for that performance. This track's very hard to get 0 incidents, and to do that, he did a very good job.
Yeah, hats off to Mark, but I think I'm going to give my driver of the day. It's a tough one, but Dan Carrigan Sanders, that was to hold Mika off. That was a seriously intense battle at the front, so hats off to Dan for winning that one.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us in the commentary box, Oliver.
No problems at all.
All the best for Laguna Seca next week, and we'll see you at the usual time, Tuesday night. I think it's 10:15 Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time here on LitTV. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next week.